Hi, and welcome back to Choski's Review. My name is Josh Cho, I'm your host, and today is a very exciting review because I get to judge these two wonderful whiskeys, Glenfiddich18 and Glenlivet18. I already have my whiskeys already poured out. As you can see, my Glenlivet18, it's already empty. It's the last dram, so I very much like the bottle, but just before I review it, I do want to mention that when I did pour this out, the bottle was empty for quite some time, or I should say that the only contents of this bottle of whiskey had was just the measure of this amount in my Glencairn. So not a whole lot, which means that a lot of the emptiness in the bottle oxidizes the whiskey and it perhaps could have changed the profile of the whiskey, the smell and the taste, but I'm hoping not too much. It's only been that empty for about a few months, certainly no more than a year. In terms of when I had the bottle, so from the very beginning, so it should be okay. The 18 on the Glenfiddich, I just reviewed my last review, so definitely interested in seeing how these two pair up with one another. These are the very most common Scotch distilleries out there. It's been out there for well over 100 years, and 18 is their sort of benchmark in their sort of classic lineup between the 12, 15, and the 18. So off to the nose on the Glenfiddich 18. And as I mentioned earlier, my past review, again, this has got that baked apple, red, deep stewed baked apple pie. It's got that cinnamon on top of it. It's kind of a nice combination. Maybe some oakiness and some nutmeg and nuts. Not much of it, but just a little bit. I would say it's not overly complicated, but it's a beautiful smell. Just very, very well balanced in the smell. So off to the Glenlivet18 smell. There's a slight bit of a richer sherry note to this, or at least the sherry that I kind of associate when I think of sherry. I usually refer to raisins. I don't get so much of that in the Glenfiddich18, even though they do use sherry oloroso in their maturation and crossing it with the ex-bourbon barrel. The Glenlivet18 also does the same thing, except I think they perhaps maybe use more of it, or that they use more of the first cask or first fill oloroso. I don't know if this is first fill or second fill on the Glenfiddich or the Glenlivet, but I certainly get more of this prune, raisins, dark raisin kind of smell in the Glenlivet18. And on top of it, kind of similar with the Glenfiddich, there's this brown sugar to it too, and I don't get really a baked apple pie, but I get definitely some apple, some green and red, so a little bit of the sour and sweet, and then pears. And definitely some spice, cinnamon, nutmeg, and there's definitely some oakiness to it too. It's a nice smell. It's really multi-layered, actually. I think I prefer the smell over the Glenfiddich. It's kind of weird how that changes. Okay, well, off to the taste. Okay. It's very nice. Very balanced. Not overly complicated, but definitely a lot of layers. I mean, initial sweetness, and then spiciness, and some nuts in the back, and then kind of a nice medium finish. A little dry, not too dry. Okay. Comes to the taste for the Glenlivet18. This is a little more robust, I think, honestly. It's got much more deeper, and the finish is, I think, longer. Wow, nice nuts in the background. Like, it's initially rich in sweetness, and then it gets into the spicy, kind of same transitions with the flavor transitions with the Glenfiddich, but the finish is a lot more intense, I think, a lot more nut, Definitely more of that sherry, that raisin I was smelling earlier too in the flavor and the taste. I would have to prefer the Glenlivet18 honestly over the Glenfiddich18, although the Glenfiddich18 is a great dram. I don't think you know, it's really that far off. I would say between them they're pretty close, but I'd probably say the Glenlivet18 is my win between the two. So that's my review between the Glenfiddich and the Glenlivet18. Hope you enjoyed that review, and please leave your comments below, and I'm looking forward to making another review and having you check it out. So until then, I'll see you next time. Cheers!